Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's episode we are taking a look at something a little different because I just finished watching this YouTube video about Charles Ponzi, the man they named Ponzi schemes after. He was not the first to do this kind of scheme, but he did it on such a large scale that basically his name stuck on the scheme, and I wanted to take a look at it because this kind of scheme did not go out of fashion, so it is always a good idea to understand exactly what's going on. So in Ponzi's scheme, he wanted to do some kind of business involving international postage stamps that he could probably purchase cheap in Europe and sell in the United States much more expensive, but he didn't really have the money to do it on a big scale, so he started to get funds by promising people 50% returns in 90 days. So you would go, put your money down, get a so-called Ponzi note that would have like the 90-day expiry on it, and you would get your principal investment and 50% gain, so 50% interest once you returned after the 90 days have passed. And so I don't want to do that in this kind of simulation. Instead, I'm just going with a share price. So every row in this table, this spreadsheet, would symbolize 1 month. And so to get the 50% return in after the 3 months have passed, we need about 14% monthly returns. So 14%, not that bad, right? So here, I'm just substituting these Ponzi notes with kind of a share price. So you buy shares, and if you buy like 10 shares here, then you will pay 100 units of currency for it, etc., etc. And so let's take a look at how the balance of our schemer is going. So my schemer starts with 0 money, and every month they have to subtract the previous month's expenses, and they also get to add the previous month's income. So this is how it will go down. So you can see that there is no real business that would create value behind this scheme. There are only expenses. There are no other incomes than what comes from the investors. And so, of course, the investors will have the number of shares they have. Let me just pull this equation down here. And so whenever they want to cash out, like here I can put -10, and this balance will just multiply the number of shares with the share price. So you can see that their investment went up quite well, and this is the money they got back. So they got back 150 instead of the 100 they put in. But our schemer's income here, schemer's income is basically like the negative of the sum of these 4 cells here. So whenever someone loses money, so to say, so the first investor puts in money that goes into the checkbook or the wallet of our schemer. So after 3 months, our schemer have already accrued some expenses, and they also have to pay out the principal and the 50 units of currency worth of interest to their first investor. So what can they do? They have to at least be able to sell these 10 shares to the next investor to get this 150 back. And what you can see here is that basically, so our scheme to just operate without like an issue here, just to get back to where it was, so have a 0 income here, we have to find someone who puts in the equal amount than what we pay out. So the next person's principal is used to pay back the first investor's principal plus interest. And this is what was the original name of this scheme, was robbing Peter to pay Paul. And so this is because I rob Peter to pay Paul, because now I don't have enough. So when this guy comes back to redeem their 10 shares from me, I would have to pay them 220, but I only have 40. So that's not good. So I need to find another investor who will at least cash in. And so this is how these schemes can go. And these schemes can go on quite well because, maybe the first investor comes back and thinks, okay, I already won 50 units of currency on this scheme. So what if I just put in some low amount of money, maybe, the amount that I already won. Maybe I can cash it out later and, just increase my winnings without extremely big risks. But of course, this guy wants to cash out, or maybe not. Maybe this guy doesn't want to cash out. Maybe this guy is very satisfied with the balance going up, so they want to put in more money. So maybe the same amount that they put in there. So let's just say 7. So they put in 440 at this time in the hopes that they will be able to pay it back around 800. But of course, our schemer won't be able to do that unless some fourth investor doesn't come in and put in a little money. So the thing is, the problem with this kind of Ponzi scheme, as you might have noticed here, is that we don't generate any real value. The only way that this share price can constantly go up is because there are new people coming in. So when this guy wants to cash out and I am forced to redeem this person's money, then I cannot pay back the 1,420. I can only pay back 285, which is would mean that my share price, so I have to divide it by 20. So that will be 14. So my share price would go back to 14. In that case, or 13, I can pay them back. So you can see that that would mean if Ponzi was doing it this way, then that would mean that once the last person wants to cash out, the price collapses, and it collapses a lot. So you can see that to sustain this model, you need more and more people not cashing out, but cashing in. So buying your so-called shares or buying your Ponzi notes. And so why I'm using this share price kind of analog here is very good to symbolize some of the modern kind of Ponzi schemes, because in our modern world, and especially in the recent years, 2020, 2021, people like to buy shares and like to buy stock, like to buy Bitcoin and things like that. And this is actually in a real company. If the real company is like really working, then maybe, maybe it's not. Maybe this share price can go up because the company is profitable. So that would mean that instead of an expense here, we have a negative number. So even if nothing happens, the money is going in. So of course it's not really good because it's a constant income, but it's exponentially growing share price. So that would also not work. So you would have to have an exponentially growing income. So if once you have an exponentially growing income here, then you can see that money will not be a problem. But this is not how the Ponzi schemes work. And so this is the real difference between a Ponzi scheme and the real investment. So I guess the conclusion here would be that you cannot tell a Ponzi scheme by the share price. So just because the price is going up and there are profits generated from a scheme, that doesn't mean it is sustainable and it's not a Ponzi scheme. So in the original scheme of Ponzi, there were people who made a lot of money. And there were people who made a lot of money, and then when they realized that they made all this money from, by robbing the person who is coming after them, a lot of people just gave back their the interest that they got on these investments to just, for the people who were left holding the bag, so they could be divided and some of their losses could be recovered, because this is what's going on. So if you want to make money on a Ponzi scheme, I don't think it's ethical, but whatever, maybe you don't care about it. You have to be 100% sure that by the time you will be cashing out, there will be still people coming in. And, that will be a very bad feeling because, if you are that person who realized, okay, there is something very fishy, so I should be cashing out at this moment. So this person cashed out when the share price was at 47, and the new person's coming in, and wow, the share price is still going up. And maybe there is one more fool buying in at this point, and the price is still going up, but I got out. Oh no, maybe I should get in. Maybe I should get back in. And so when this guy gets out, you get back in for some money, but the price crashes because there is nothing behind the investment. So, this is very, very painful to invest in a Ponzi scheme, and this is exactly why I don't invest my money in crypto, because that's what I see there. But instead of like one schemer, we have the miners, and the miners are using a lot of money to, like a Bitcoin network uses as much electricity as Denmark, I think. Okay, so in the meantime, I was editing this video that you've been just watching, and in that time span I had some interesting discussions about cryptocurrencies on the internet, and because in this video I wanted to compare cryptocurrencies to Ponzi schemes, and in the original version I didn't really do that well. During these discussions I figured out a way how to really drive the message home that in my view, which, you can, I want you to try to convince me that I'm wrong if you feel like I'm wrong, but in my view, as an investment vehicle, the coins, the cryptocurrencies are just basically, distributed Ponzi schemes. I'm not talking about any other utility, so if they have another utility, like you can transfer money anywhere in the world, you can use them as like a unit of exchange that is independent of governments and things like that. I'm not going to argue against that because, well, they might be very useful for those purposes, but as far as I know, most of the volume of these cryptocurrencies are not used for donating money for your favorite YouTube content creator or things like that. You are using, or not you, but most of the people or most of the money that is in cryptocurrencies is used for investment. And so in this colorful spreadsheet, which is a modified version of what I was showing in the previous part of the video, I want to show how all this kind of the Ponzi scheme-like behavior applies to this space, to the cryptocurrency space, because especially I had a discussion about it on Mastodon of why do all these new type of coins that are just exploding, like everyone is making coins right now. It's like a renaissance of cryptocurrencies. Why do everyone spend that much time spamming every possible communication channel to try to pump their coins? So why do they need to spam like YouTube comments and things like that? And maybe even they will spam this video, even though I'm very unpopular, very small viewer base in this channel, so it's a relatively not a popular thing, but maybe even they will spam this YouTube channel with cryptocurrency pumping scams or spams. So why do they have to do that? So let me just introduce this table. So compared to our previous table, we have our miner here who has a money and a coin balance, and of course the changes will be registered in these for everyone. So we can have a money balance and change in the money and the coin numbers, and the sum is basically based on the price of the coin. So this is kind of like the value of your investment, like your money and your coins together, and this is the interesting part. So in contrast to our previous discussion with the Ponzi schemes, this price does not have a fixed rate of increase. I'm just using, so whichever of these money and coin change pairs, not empty, is going to be defining our price here. And if there is nothing happening in a certain column, then it will just copy the previous price. And so let's start with minting one coin. So our miners, they spend the electricity to mint one coin, and then maybe they can sell this one coin for 2 units of currency. And so maybe this investor A will purchase the coin for the 2 units of currency. And you can see that now the price has gone up from 0 to 2. And if we mint one more coin, that won't affect the price. Maybe we can sell this one coin also for 2 units of currency to the same investor. So now our investor has 2 coins. So this is the coin column here. Here they have 2 coins and are in -4 in their money balance. Money balance. Very difficult to pronounce properly. But their sum is 0 because the coin worth 2 money. 1 coin worth 2 money. Okay, so why do we need constantly selling these cryptocurrencies? Well, because once I mint one more, maybe I want to sell one more, and maybe I can find someone who will buy it for 3 units of currency. So our investor B have just bought their first coin for 3 units of currency, and this will increase the price, of course, to 3. And our investor A will think, okay, I'm started to earn some money, so maybe, the coiners will mint one more coin and they will sell this for 3 units of currency to the first investor, who was still quite confident in their investment being in the positive. But maybe this is the time when people start to think that, okay, I can get a lot of money. So I spend 1 unit of currency on mining a coin, but I get 3 for it. Totally worth jumping in. And if you look at how Bitcoin works, the thing is that even though more people are mining, the number of coins that you can mine will stay the same. So if everyone just starts spending a lot of electricity, we'll still only get 1 coin. So we have to sell this coin for at least 4 units of currency. And maybe our first investor is still very much a believer here, so they will try to buy this coin, and they bid up the price. Maybe they need the money later, so they will sell a few coins. So now they need someone to sell the coin to if they don't want, of course, if they want to make their money back. So maybe our investor B can help in here, and maybe they are even willing to pay a little higher price because they see, the price is going up. It will be going even more up. So maybe they will buy 2 coins for 10 units of currency. So they are plus 10 and minus 2 here. And so we can see that I still have less money than I have before starting to invest in crypto, but my balance sheet looks really good. Maybe there is someone else here who wants to buy more crypto, and maybe they are willing to pay even 6 units of currency for just 1 coin. Maybe, investor 1 is like, okay, I need money. I need to sell 1 more of my coins, so they will sell it for the 6 units of currency. And now they are actually in this game, and they are making money. But of course, now what happened is that everyone is just trading, but maybe our miners want to make more money, and maybe even more people are in the mining business now, so it's costing even more to mine that next coin. What will happen is I need to sell it for someone, at least for, maybe the next coin I can only sell it for 5 units of currency. What happens then if I sell this next unit of cryptocurrency, maybe for this guy for 5 units? So of course now our price have gone down a little. And so maybe this is the point when, the second investor feels like, okay, price have gone down a little. This is my time. I will buy it. I will try to buy it for this same price. So maybe the first investor here decides, okay, I'm out. Maybe this is the beginning of the end. I got scared. I sold out. I earned already a lot of money. So they are very much in the positive regime here. And everyone okay, so the price now gone down a little, so investor C is not that confident anymore. Of course, maybe there is new person who wants to buy the currency so it can go up. So if this new person is very much interested and no one wants to sell, because maybe they are just holding on to it, maybe they can bid up the price. Maybe I will buy it for 7 units of currency. If you just sell me one, maybe this guy will sell one of those, and gets the 7 units of currency and loses one of their coins, very well. They're looking quite good with their balance sheets here, so maybe we can mint one more coin for the next person, and it's going to cost us even more because even more people want to be in the mining business. Maybe they can sell it for 8 units of currency for our next guy. And now everyone is happy. So what's going on? So everyone has a positive balance sheet. Everyone has positive balance sheets here, even though the only person who actually made money is investor A, investor B, investor C, investor D. They are all heavily in debt as it comes to their monetary resources, so the money, but they have coins, and the coins they are very expensive, so, their net worth is higher. So here, investor B is the richest person, of course. And so, what happens when the miners will mine one more coin? Maybe they can still mine it for 5 units of currency. And maybe they can still sell it to someone. Maybe our investor D doesn't have that much money, but they still bid the price to 7. There is a little. Oh, this is a -1 here. -1. There is a little dip in the price again, but it doesn't bother them. They are in the minus. And what happens next when, maybe investor B needs some money? They are very much in debt. There is a margin call or whatever. They have to pay rent or something. They need to sell some of their coins. So how can I get some money for one of my coins? How much are the people willing to pay? Well, if you don't bring in any new people, who will buy? Who will buy that? So this guy is even more in debt. This guy is similarly in debt. This guy already cashed out. Maybe he's not interested anymore. Maybe he's like, okay, if the price dips a lot, I will buy one more coin. So maybe the price have to go down to 3 for this guy to buy it. And now, no, this is +3, and this is going to be the -3 here. So buying one coin for 3 units of currency. And now everyone is in very big trouble. Everyone is in really, really big trouble. So this is the point when, when you have to decide, are you going to hold on to it? Are you going to sell? And the thing is, this is the point where you definitely need someone else to get in. And if there is someone else to get in, and you can sell your coin to that new person, then you will see your balance going up. But if there are no new people, then you are in big trouble. And you can see that in this game, of course, at this point, the miners are always winning. Even if the coin just collapses to 0, everyone loses all their money. The miners won a lot of money. Our first investor is in quite good shape. Second investor lost some money. The third and the fourth investor, they lost a lot of money. And if you just add up all these numbers in the end, you will end up with a huge negative number, so -21. And what it means is basically when you are investing in Bitcoin, you can only win money that someone else loses, and you can only win less money than the losers lose. So this is negative sum game. This is how the negative sum game works on the long term, because money that you can see that goes down the drain here for mining, that doesn't come back in any shape or any form. And how is it different from a real investment? As I said before, a real investment, like a company that's profitable or a real estate that's being rent out, the renter pays the owner of the building money every month for using the building, so the owners of the building can share the profits, and it doesn't matter if I buy a like a portion of that building, I buy a share of that company that is renting out the building, then it doesn't matter, like, if the next person can buy the shares for less money than I did, because I will still get my share of the profit. So maybe my returns will be not as good, or maybe, well, of course, things can go wrong, so the pandemic can hit and suddenly no renter is going to pay rent, so you are making no money on your investments. So I'm not saying you cannot lose on on investing in the wrong company that doesn't have a future or something, but what I'm trying to say here is that this is the difference, that in the cryptocurrency there is nothing else. So the cryptocurrency is the product and the security at the same time. When you buy shares in a company, you buy your stocks, then you are buying the security, but behind that security there is a business that sells a product or service, and that product or service, when sold to someone else, is bringing in money, and that money goes to the shareholders. Here, you are buying a coin which is a virtual something that some people believe it's actually nothing. You give that money to someone and that someone spends some of that money on electricity, and then nothing happens. So you can either sell your virtual coin to someone else for more, or you just lost your money. And so this is why I think all crypto investments, when you use it as an investment vehicle, you are investing in a Ponzi scheme. And just once again to emphasize, there are a lot of things that lose you money. So when you buy food, you lose money. That's not an investment. You buy food to eat it. So it gives you something. It gives you sustenance, so it gives you something else. When you buy a car, even though you sell that car as a used vehicle after a few years, and you lose a lot of money on that car, but you did not buy that car for investment. You had some useful properties of that car that made your life better, so you don't mind spending money on that. But so if you use cryptocurrency, you buy cryptocurrencies because this is the way you want to support your favorite YouTubers. This is the way you want to, trade stamps with someone at the other end of the world, or this is how you want to buy your next Tesla, and you use it as like a currency. Now, of course, the way you use the cryptocurrency gives you some value. So maybe you couldn't buy Tesla in your country any other way, just by Bitcoin. Maybe there is no better way to support your favorite YouTuber just by crypto. Maybe you think that every other method is just supporting some big company you don't want to support. So Bitcoin is like an independent way to supporting them, so you don't mind if, there is some of that money is going towards the electricity bills of the miners. But when you invest in, isn't the main reason of investing in something is to get more money out from the system than you put in? And as I showed you here, in sum total, you can make money. So there are some people who you can make money, but in sum total, crypto is a money losing business. But of course, if you have any good arguments against this, if you can tell me why cryptocurrencies are not just big distributed Ponzi schemes, I am very curious of your arguments, and leave them down below. And if I have a lot of good arguments down in the comment section, I might just answer them in a video. And of course, if the arguments are convincing, I will explain how they convinced me, and I will show that thought process to you too. And if you want to see more videos like this, then just give me a like and subscribe to the channel and tell me how you enjoyed this type of content, which is not really the general type of content in this channel, but and you know what to do. You know how video-based social media works, so I don't need to talk more. I hope so. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.